Hey, what's the name of the article? I mean, not the article, but the topic.
His look is more stout than his fellows.
Okay.
Yeah, saying it, you loud man, bro.
Yeah, saying the same thing. You can open it up, bro.
All right. Hey, we want to give all praises to Yahweh by
Yahweh,
his
Hashem,
Yahweh Shah,
Yahusha,
by his Shem,
Hashem,
Kadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders that rule well, and peace and blessings to you, brothers that is kicking his word in sincerity, also in truth. We're coming into the latter times, as brothers know well, and the Most High is speaking by his prophecy. And one prophecy that we see is being made manifest is the fact that these other nations are getting tired of America, man, for its pride, for its its arrogance. You see, and it talks about that in what Daniel 7:20.
Mm-hmm.
That little horn, we know that little horn to be who? America, man. And his look is more stout than his fellows. Which, you know what, I'm just gonna read that for you, brothers. Um, this my Bible. I'm not gonna pull it out up on the screen, you know, because my computer's running relatively slow. So, but I'll just get that. I'll get that by the scriptures.
Yeah, hey,
And
I
now
can
this
read
is
that for you, bro.
okay. Go on.
All right, this is Daniel 7:20. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom three fell, even of that horn that had eyes and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows.
That's right. And we know that last horn that came out, which that horn, there's three horns that fell is going into the French, the Spanish, and the British. With various wars and things of that nature. America was able to make itself a world power, man. You see, and within America making itself a world power, with his hegemony, he's been very, very, very prideful, man. You know, putting various sanctions on numerous countries, for his gain. Dictating other people's form of government and also social policies. You see, imposing you know, uh, as I said, the hegemony on various people, man, or the culture on various people, much like the Greeks did. You
Mm-hmm.
see, when Epiphanes came, well, Antiochus Epiphanes came in power, he forced all the people to become Hellenists, man. And you see that same vibration, you know, uh, you know, with America, man, which is known as Babylon the Great. We know it to be Babylon the Great because, like ancient Babylon, America pushes these ancient paganistic religions, man, worshiping of women and things of that nature. And because of that, the other nations, guess what? They're getting tired of America, man. Especially economically speaking. People are getting tired of America bullying them and dictating, you know, who they could do business with, things of that nature.
Precept.
Con.
And this is Nahum 3 and 4.
Hmm.
Because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts that selleth nations through her whoredoms and families through her
Hmm.
witchcrafts.
We know that to be who? America, man.
Right.
They set the nations by her witchcraft, man. I did not mean to do that, but uh, Yeah, they sell the nations via their witchcraft, man. You see, they go and they tear down these various governments, set up coups,
Mm-hmm.
for these various governments to be taken over, and they implant a puppet, you see, and and then within them, it's setting up this puppet. They say, we're gonna bring democracy to these various countries, you see, and within that, the people become lewd, man.
That's right.
Case in point, look what's going on over there in the Middle East. You had the first gay parade in the Middle East in a place that's predominantly Islamic. You see what I'm saying?
Con.
America is destroying these various countries, you know, via its whoredom, man. You see, or his policy, which is written about in Daniel the 8th chapter, what, the 25th verse.
Con. Got another precept for you, bro.
What you got?
Hey, this is Revelation 18 and 3. For all nations have drunk of the wine. Are you trying to pull it up, bro?
Kai, I was gonna see if I could pull it up,
Okay, no
just
problem. I'll wait on you.
for edification.
No problem.
18 and what? 20?
Yeah, get Revelation 18 and 3.
And 3. Dang, I was off. Where I got 20 from?
It's all good.
God. Yeah. Okay. So like you put it. You want me
Yeah, I'm
to
gonna
read
read
it,
it
bro?
for
You
you,
can break
bro.
it down.
Huh?
Okay. I said you want me to read it for you.
Well, no, since you was just to expound on with more expounding of what you were saying.
Okay, come.
All right, bro. This is Revelation 18 and 3. And it states, For all nations have drunk of the wine of the wrath of her fornication, and the kings of the earth have committed fornication with her, and the merchants of the earth are waxed rich through the abundance of her delicacies.
That's right. So all the other nations, they have taken on the ways of America for their gain.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? Case in point, a beautiful example of this is look at China. China became the number one manufacturer, you know, for basically the world, man.
Mm-hmm.
You see, and uses the same uh, uh, premises in which America conducts business, as a means to making themselves a world power. You see, because prior to that, prior to World War I, well, actually World War II, China was considered isolationist, man. They didn't really deal with nations like that.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? But
Yep.
Japan was in league with Germany. You see what I'm saying? They was able, that small country was able to take over a huge country like China, man. So China became more westernized.
Mm-hmm.
You see what I'm saying?
That's right.
So the other nations have drunken, the wine, or have consumed the philosophies and the ways and the culture of America. Babylon the Great, and the other nations, they're mad, man. They get tired of America. You see, and the brother has a beautiful article that's going to illustrate exactly what we're talking about, man. You want me to get to the article, bro?
Yeah, bro, you can get to the article.
Okay, let's go ahead and read down. And now it says, this is according to presstv.com. In his UN address, Trump
Hey, bro.
urges, what's up?
Hey, get the article, the other one first.
Okay,
The,
gotcha.
the
Okay,
water.
U.S. has history of reneging on its commitments, analysts.
Mm-hmm.
And get down. It says the United States has a history of reneging on its obligations, says an analyst, adding that seeking a treaty with Iran cannot rationalize Washington's violation of the nuclear deal known as the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action. The analyst comments came after U.S. Special Envoy for Iran, Brian Hook, said the United States seeks a treaty with Iran ahead of the next week's United Nations General Assembly meeting in New York. This conceptual distinction between an executive agreement and a treaty is hair-splitting nonsense. The fact is that the U.S. has a history of reneging on its obligations, and U.S. President Donald Trump has taken this to furthest extreme, and now is isolated internationally.
Con.
You know, so because of Trump's action, you have an analysis saying that the U.S. is becoming more and more isolated. You see what I'm saying? It's showing that, guess what? People are getting tired of this place, man. People are starting to have an evil eye towards America, man.
That's right, brother. Hey, bro, since you stated that, hey, let's get Revelation 17 and 16.
Okay, got you. Revelation 17 and verse 16.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is Revelation 17 and 16. And the
Con.
10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore.
Right.
And
And the 10 horns are classified as the EU. Of course, they added other countries to offset the prophecy. And of course, the beast at this time frame is NATO as well as the EU.
mhm,
Okay. And who's the whore? The whore is America. However, the scripture states that, okay, that the 10 horns is going to hate the whore. And this is what we're having right now. Like the EU has ill feelings towards America, man. All right. Because one thing about America, it's reneging on everything it says that it's not going to do, it does. And at the same time frame, America is placing sanctions on EU countries, man. So that's creating internal turmoil, which further isolates America from its own allies.
that's right. Beautiful. Con. Uh, back in verse 16. And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore, and shall make her desolate
Mm-hmm.
and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire.
Right, which means that the EU is going to send missiles, over here. Why? Because before this, America has to continue to further isolate itself from its European allies, man.
That's right. Because what's going on with this deal is not only is it, with him, with Trump putting sanctions on Iran, he's stopping. He's really, like the brother says, putting sanctions on these EU countries, man, that have certain deals with Iran, man. To make certain vehicles in particular, airplanes and things of that nature,
Done.
that's going to affect their economy. You see what I'm saying? And also, I want to say that Iran produces a lot of hydrocarbon to these various countries. You see, so Trump is stopping a lot of people's economy, man. He's affecting a lot of people's lives,
That's
and so
right.
these nations, man, they're not gonna have that. You see what I'm saying? They're gonna rise up against America. You see,
Done.
which we see slowly and surely happening now. Now you got these various nations that are on a part of the beast that are bucking up. Case in point, Iran. Iran wouldn't be considered a part of the 10 horns. You see, but This is beautiful because it goes into Habakkuk, the second chapter, man. You
Right.
see, how the other and how the other nations they you know came against the Assyrians, because at the time that's what it was written about. That's when Habakkuk was writing, wrote Habakkuk during the Assyrians uh, um, captivity. You see, and the modern day Syrians, spiritually speaking, is who? Here at the U.S. Man. Why is that? Because they're known for their military might, the same way that the ancient Assyrians were. The ancient Assyrians were known for being very fierce and have advanced weaponry when it comes technological weaponry when it comes to military when it comes to the
Con.
military. And that's the America and that's America also.
That's right, because like you say, bro, the Syrians, they had their extremely stronghold with Nineveh, you know, and
That's right.
basically, like you said, they had modified weaponry where if you had a country that had it like what fortified walls, they had ramps and things of that nature, or they had the weaponry to dig up under those walls, man, to invade that country.
Mm,
And then, like America, they also built their city in blood, man.
that's right. That's right. When you brought out that Nahum, and that's beautiful. It says, "Woe unto them that." If you went to that first verse, "Woe unto them that build their city in blood." Man, that's what
Mm-hmm.
America has done. You know, America, the 93% of the time of America's existence has been in war, man.
Con.
You see, did you want me to go back to the article?
Hey, one more precept, bro. Get
God,
Isaiah 33 and 1.
God, Isaiah 33.
Yeah, so a great kingdom such as America has to be documented within the scriptures if you have, I mean, if you can receive that from a spiritual standpoint. And like the elder was saying, America is known as it's the modern day Assyrian Empire, the Babylonian Empire, Nineveh, all these great kingdoms that once was, America has came back modified, man.
That's right. It's that little horn
That
that
little
came
horn.
that came out of all these different empires, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? This is that little whore that little whore that little horn that's spoken about, you know. And also this place is considered as a whore, man, because it's lying in bed with these various kingdoms.
Right, right.
You
And
see?
what does these kingdoms do? They leave their way of life, their cultures, their behaviors, their mindsets, which comes from part of their religion dogma, and they get into bed with the horde. They become assimilated with America's way of life. So that's why you have Moab, wearing suits and Buffalo Wild Wings and McDonald's in Japan, man. They're
Right,
no longer wearing that ancient, attire that they used to wear, man.
right. That's right, brother. This is Isaiah 33 and 1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled.
And this is
And
America, okay?
that's America.
America has spoiled all these countries, man, through their military might, through their petrodollar, okay? That's how they spoil these countries, all right? Go ahead, bro.
God. And dealt treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee.
Right, right. So woe to thee that spoilers, which is America, and thou was not spoiled, meaning, hey, America has not been attacked by any country. All right. What we seen with 9/11, that was an inside job. That was
Yeah,
a false
Pearl
flag.
Harbor
That was
too.
a false flag event. That's why she's considered as that virgin, because warfare from another country has not transpired on this landmass. Okay.
That's right.
And then it states, and dealt treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. Okay, now look how America does. They sign these agreements, but like the article is going into, what the elder is reading, they renege on everything.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But at the same time frame, Iran and these other countries that signed that commitment, they're still intact. But America reneged, So that's a format of how America gets down, how they deal with these other countries in a treacherous mindset or in a treacherous manner.
That's right. That's right. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee.
Right, and it's and we see this scripture unfolding through the process of America continuing to further isolate itself from everybody.
That's right. That's right, brother.
All right, you go back to
Back
the
to
article, Edward.
okay. Uh, I'm in the third paragraph. It says, as a matter of fact, I just read from the top. These conceptual distinctions between an executive agreement and a treaty is hair-splitting nonsense. The fact that the U.S. has a history of reneging on its obligation and U.S. President Donald Trump has taken that to furthest extreme and now is isolated internationally.
Mm-hmm.
Trump has explicitly considered the fact that it has no major ally in the international community when it comes to Iran because the rest of the world sees the values and the merits of that agreement that Iran has fully complied with. Kavi was it Kavil
Yeah,
uh,
convey. Yeah.
Kaveh Hafarsibia
Still be. Yeah.
told Press TV in an interview on Thursday. So the United States is really dealing with a gaping self wound and has to find alternative rationalizations and reasoning in order to retract itself in line with international law and United Nations principles, he added.
Mm-hmm.
President Trump withdrew Washington in May from the landmark nuclear deal reached between Iran and the PF plus one group of countries in 2015 and decided to reimpose unilateral sanctions against Tehran. And that unilateral means that they're basically operating by themselves. The United States is.
Con.
It
Con,
says,
bro.
under the deal, Iran undertook to put limits on its nuclear program in exchange for the removal of nuclear related sanctions.
Right. So everything Iran was instructed to do by that covenant, which is that agreement, they complied with. However, America, found another way to deal treacherously within this commitment. Okay. And these nations are looking at this because at the same time frame, like the brother was expounding before we got on live, hey, America is messing up money for the EU as well, man.
Hmm.
All right, bro. Hey, let's get Habakkuk 2 and 1.
Okay. Now this is Habakkuk. This is Habakkuk 2 and 1. I will stand upon my watch and set me up upon the tower, and will watch to see what he will say unto me, and what I shall answer when I am reproved, Slaki.
God.
Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
Right.
For
So we have the
the
scriptures, right? We have the visions of the prophets within the scriptures. Okay. So now that he may run that readeth it. So how are we running? We're notifying the elect, through scriptures. This is what's going on, as well as the 2/3, as well as these other nations, man. Because everybody has to hear this word, because the word is either going to save or is going to condemn, which justifies the Most High for destroying you anyway.
that's right.
All right, go ahead, bro.
Yeah. For the answer, for Yahweh answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain upon tables, that he may run that readeth it.
Mm-hmm.
For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it's just speaking, not lie.
Right, because and the vision is yet for an appointed time. The vision is going to happen. These prophecies are going to occur because the Most High is a man of His word. But at the same time frame, it's all about timing with the Most High. Everything has to be aligned up right because He's bound to His word, man.
That's right.
Right, go ahead, bro.
That he well, it's like and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry.
Mm-hmm.
Behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, but the just shall live by faith.
Right.
By
So
his
we're
faith.
so Lord willing, we're part of the elect. We are living by faith. We understand that the prophecies may tarry, but they're coming. And that's that gift the Most High has given us to believe. And Lord willing, we continue to believe. But the point of the scripture, behold, his soul which is lifted up is not upright in him, and that's why we consider this man as the wicked. He's programmed to be wicked. That's the reason why he has. That's the reason why he can get in these agreements and break these agreements or renege in every form of fashion because his soul is not upright. If he was truly a righteous man, if you give your word, you're gonna honor that commitment or that agreement because why you gave your word. But this wicked man, which is actually the so-called white man, and at the same time frame, the so-called he's really the so-called black man because he's voided of light. He's voided of righteousness. Okay,
That's
you
right.
know, and that's the reason why this man continues to transgress and do whatever he does in wickedness across the four corners of the earth because his spirit within him is programmed to be wicked.
That's right.
You got something you want to add, Elder?
No lie.
Okay,
Woman,
you could continue,
continue.
bro.
Kind. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither
Yeah,
keepeth.
then that's through democracy, through his philosophies, through Christianity. That's how he indoctrinates you. He minds fuck you to basically go at his will. Because at the end of the day, if he doesn't have to deem war on the country, he rather just from a psychological standpoint manipulate them. But at times, you have to go to war and get these people mind right.
He might not be. He might not be the one that's going to war per se, but he'll set up coups in order to accomplish his wicked agenda.
Con,
You see a lot
con.
of that going on in the Middle East.
Yup.
You see, set up these coups on the name of taking down ISIS and things of that nature, or taking or eliminating the world for terrorism. He's the
Mm-hmm.
biggest terrorist out there. You know,
That's right.
arming thousands of people, taking their natural resources. You see what I'm saying? This guy is the real terrorist, but he'll deem you as a terrorist or as a threat if you speak up against him, man. And he has the media, you know, as a way to accomplish his narrative, man. You
That's
see,
right.
that's why his tongue is likened unto a sword. And what Psalms the 64th chapter, man?
Mm-hmm.
Who the wicked who wet their tongue as a sword? Who better exemplifies that who better exemplifies that more than the so-called white man?
God. God.
Okay, so this is back in the Habakkuk 2 verse 5. Yea, also because he transgresseth by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, and cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people.
And that's the goal of the international bankers, okay? Beginning with the Rothschilds, man. All right, because they want all nations, they want all people to be gathered because ultimately they want to be the most high. They want that birthright back, man. All right. And
That's
it
right.
only and this is a characteristic of Esau. He's the only man that goes from nation to nation and he promotes havoc and war upon these nations, man. And what he does is he takes control of them from a financial standpoint as well by giving them a central bank.
for you, but
Go ahead.
I'm
It's all
gonna
good.
nah, it's much slow. That's all right. I ain't gonna. I'm,
You want me to
I'm
pull it
gonna go.
up and read it to you?
Yeah, Daniel. I was gonna get that deck. I can get it, bro. I'm gonna
Okay.
get it. I'm just being too uh stubborn because I just wanted to put it up on the screen for eye count, but
Mm,
you know,
that's right.
this is Daniel 8 and 25. And through his policy also he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace, if you have a 1611 in a margin, it says prosper, and by peace he shall destroy many. He shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand.
That's right.
You know, going to what you were bringing out by his prophecy, man.
Mm-hmm.
He's able to, you know, basically put the whole world into a form of subjection. You see, and you see that being exemplified, you know, with these nations that want to move away from the petrodollar. He deems them as, see, or as a threat. Case in point, Russia. You see, the only reason he ain't slandering China is because he get all this goods from China. He's still doing deals with China. Deals with China. You see,
Kind. But you know, Elder, they're beefing about the what's it? The China Sea.
Con. Yep. Well, you have what you have going on is you have the East basically that's building a whole structure, and leaving out America.
Mm-hmm.
China has just made a new form of a currency called the petro yuan, which is a currency backed by gold. You see, and they're gonna use that to buy and sell oil. Which is gonna exclude the petrodollar. You see, the reason why the dollar is so strong because there's um, an artificial demand for it. You see, because most people buy and sell oil using the petrodollar, which was created in the 1970s under the what's that, Rich, my man, Nixon.
Yeah, I
You
think
see,
so.
between himself, America, and Saudi Arabia.
Kind.
You see, so that with that agreement, America was able to America has been able to basically bully people, man,
That's right.
because that dollar is so strong. But you see any other nations, what are they doing? They're making different pacts with one another. You see what I'm saying? To get away from the grip of America, man. Case in point, BRICS, it's BRICS, Brazil, Russia,
Russia.
India, China, South America, and you
Yeah.
have other countries that's in there too. You know what I'm saying? Like Turkey, and I want to say Iran is a part of it too. Excuse me if I'm going off. You see, the other nations are making economic pacts with one another. You see, that's gonna be a threat to the petrodollar. You see, the other nations are taking up a parable against these people, against America, which is gonna say that in verse 6. You know, 2 and 6. Shall not all these take up a parable against him and a taunting proverb against him, and say,
Mm-hmm.
woe to him that increaseth that which is not his? How long? And to him that layeth himself with thick clay.
Right.
If you look
So,
at
like
that
Elder said,
word,
these other countries are basically gearing themselves because ultimately they know they're going to war with America. They understand that. Okay. And then it states, and to him that layeth himself with thick clay, is talking about America's debt.
that's right. That's right, bro. Let's look up that word clay, 'cause that's going to go into exactly what the brother brought out.
Hey, bro. Also, a BRIC. It was Brazil, Russia, India, and China,
God,
and South Africa.
I said South America. I always do that. South Africa, Slovakia. God,
Okay.
and that word is a bot yacht, a bot yacht, and it means wages of pledges heavy debts. So
Mm-hmm.
America has laden himself with thick clay. And what is that thick clay? Shoot, the petrodollar. You see, and with that
Mm-hmm.
petrodollar, he's been able to rule this world, man. And these other nations are quite frankly they're getting tired of that. And you're seeing that being an example for our Iran deal. You know, you got people, we got the EU um bucking up against this. They're saying, you
Kind.
know, really the EU is the only really America is the only one that's agreeing with this. If you you know, remember what we just read in that article, you see America's trying to make deals, you know, deals to kind of make itself look better. You see, because nobody's agreeing with what it's doing, man.
Kind.
You know,
Hey, bro. Get Genesis 27 and 39.
con, con. Can I? You mind if I
Yeah, finish it. Yeah, yeah, kind, bro.
finish it?
Yeah.
Habakkuk 2:7. Shall they not rise up suddenly that shall bite thee, and awake that shall vex thee, and thou shalt be for booties unto them?
Right. So America's going to be spoiled as well, man, because hey, Yahweh Shem Al Shah is setting up that great war for World War III, man. And America has to be punished for all its wicked deeds. You know, how it has destroyed the earth, you know, and how it has enslaved, not only the nation of Israel, but that's the most important thing we're talking about when it comes to that. But America promotes idolatry throughout the four corners of the earth. It is what not to be.
That's right. That's right. Uh, because thou hast spoiled many nations, all the remnant of the people shall spoil thee.
Right. So what goes around comes around.
Comes around. Mhm. Yep. All the because of man's blood and for the violence of the land of the city and all in of all that dwell therein.
Right. And this is the reason why you're gonna be punished. These are some of the reasons because of men's blood and for the violence of the land. That's why we consider, you so called white people the wicked.
And that's right. It's the truth. It's just the truth, man. Everybody that you have came in contact with, every indigenous people of a particular land that you have came in contact with, you totally destroying, man.
Right.
You know, under the name of your false religion or your pseudoscience. You see,
Mm-hmm.
you want me to keep going on this, bro?
What you think, bro?
I mean, we could.
Go ahead.
Okay. Verse 9. Woe to him that coveteth an evil covetousness to his house,
Right. And
that he may.
that's
Mhm.
what America's about. All right. It covets another person's house, meaning their land. All
You're
right,
right.
going into their resources. All right,
Uh,
whether
that
it's
he.
gold, whether it's for oil, whether it's for any minerals or opium like Afghanistan. That's what this
Yep.
man is about. His
Yep.
desires is basically to go into these other countries, eradicate them from their resources, so to further build up his empire.
That's right. That's right. That he may set his nest on high, that
Mm-hmm.
he may be delivered from the power of evil.
Right, because at the same time frame, he's still fortifying himself as well. Adding on to his military might.
That's right. Thou hast consulted shame to thy house by cutting off many people, and hast sinned against thy soul.
Mm-hmm.
You know, for the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it.
That's
And really,
right.
really, that point was, But we can keep on. Uh, woe, woe unto him that buildeth a town with blood and establisheth a city by iniquity.
Right, right, and that's America, man. And I
Hmm.
want to say for verse Habakkuk 2:11, for the stone shall cry out of the wall, and the beam out of the timber shall answer it. It talks, and that's you also can liken that scripture to America's weakened infrastructure, man.
Con. Mhm. Yep. Everything is being deteriorated right before our eyes. That's why you had
Right,
the Edomites. They want to make America great again. And America, quite frankly, it's not. It's never going to be great again
kind.
because it done too much wickedness, and all that wickedness is about to be recompensed on his head, man. So
That's
you
right,
you you low level Edomites, you going down too, man.
kind.
You know
That's right. That's right.
that's right. Do you have anything else out?
Yeah, bro. Get Genesis 27 and 39.
Now, this is Genesis 27 and verse 39. And Isaac his father answered and said unto him, Behold, thy dwelling shall be the fatness of the earth and the dew of heaven from above. And
Right.
by thy
So
sword, oh,
so
sorry.
this is Esau. Esau has inherited this blessing fully. He has the fatness of the earth wherever he's at. You know, no matter what landmass in a different country, he always has the best part of that land or the best part of what that place has to offer.
That's right.
Go ahead, bro.
God. Um, and
Just read
by
to 40.
just read the 40.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And by thy sword shalt thou live and shall serve thy brother, and it shall come to pass when thou shalt have the dominion that thou shalt break his yoke from off thy neck.
Right, and Esau did do that, you know, and we're living in this prophecy right now because he did that with the Renaissance period, okay? But it states, "And by the sword shalt thou live," and this is another way Esau has attained this great empire. All right, by his sword, he lives by the sword, his military might, okay,
That's
his
right.
advanced weaponry, but at the same time, due to this great sword that actually Yahushua blessed him with, okay, he was able to attain that petrodollar. And he can utilize that as weaponry as well. If you don't do this, we're gonna do sanctions. So on and so forth, man. So without the sword, he never would have got that advancement of the petrodollar.
That's right.
Because Saudi Arabia believed that, okay, if we align ourselves up with America, we would be protected.
Yep. That's exactly what that was.
Mm-hmm. Hey, bro, one more thing for me, and I'm out.
Okay.
Get that last article.
Okay.
If you still got it up, if not,
Come on.
that's cool too.
No, I got it. I got it right
Okay.
here. Mhm. In his UN address, Trump urges the world to isolate Iran.
Now, bro, let's go down to. Want to say you're gonna see where it states the U.S. president open. Continue to go. Continue. It's gonna be under the last picture.
Okay. Okay. The U.S. president opened his speech by uh, touting his domestic policies, including tax cuts and his push to build a wall among the U.S. Mexico border before addressing his foreign policy priorities. Trump boasted that his administration had accomplished more than almost any other in U.S. history. The remark drew laughter from the audience of world leaders. The
Right.
audience then
Hey, years ago, that never would have happened.
that
All
one
right.
happened.
You never could have paid a country to do an insult like that. It stated Trump boasted that his administration had accomplished more than almost any other in U.S. history. The remark drew laughter from the audience of world leaders. Read those couple more sentences, Elder.
Con. The audience then again began chuckling when Trump said, "So true." Trump paused and then responded, "I didn't expect that reaction, but that's okay."
Okay, which leads us to the last scripture for me,
Hmm.
Isaiah 14, verse 9.
Okay. Isaiah 14. Verse 9. Now, it ain't gonna pull up. Now, there we go. Now, this is Isaiah 14
Mm-hmm.
and verse 9. Hell from a tripping. Isaiah, come on, man. There we go. Isaiah 14:9. Hell from beneath is moved from thee to meet thee at thy coming. A
Right, and
stir.
hey, Esau is going down, man, and he's going to be in a terrible condition once he comes back through the process of reincarnation. Now, you elite bankers, you're going straight into slavery, but your offsprings, and their offsprings, of course, they're going to have to repopulate their nation as well. But at the same time frame, through the process of reincarnation, it's going to be extremely dire and bad times for you all. Go ahead, bro.
Come. It stirreth up the dead from thee, even
Mm-hmm.
all the chief ones of the earth.
Right. So the dead are the chief ones of the earth, meaning these kingdoms, okay, from these other nations. Go ahead.
Come. It hath raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations,
Mm-hmm.
and they shall speak and say unto thee, Art thou also become weak as we? Art thou become like unto us?
Right. And we see this prophecy unveiling by these other nations laughing at Donald Trump.
Hmm.
Go ahead, bro.
Thy pomp is brought down to the grave.
Your pride is brought down to the grave, and the grave is a low condition. Okay. Go ahead.
God, uh, let's see here. Thy pomp is brought down to the grave, and the noise of thy bowels, the worm is spread under thee, and the worms cover thee.
That's right. That's
Mhm.
right. Go ahead, bro.
How art thou fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning? How art thou cut down to the ground, which didst weaken the nations?
Right. So the nation of Esau is actually going down, beginning with these elite bankers because they are Lucifer. They are considered as the light barriers on the left hand side. But of course, prophecies has to be fulfilled, and once these prophecies are fulfilled, then these elite bankers are going down, as well as the entire nation of Esau.
That's
That's
right.
it for me, bro.
Kind brother. Kind. Hey man, so most are willing. You brothers were edified. Brothers came in. I see some couple brothers came in. Kind of late. Salakia. Uh, brother tribe of Issachar Shalom. Brother GMS Living Water Shalom. GMS Day and Night Shalom. Shalom to you brothers, man. You know. Want to give all praises to Yahweh by
Now,
Hashem,
yeah,
Yahusha by Hashem Wakar Double honors to the apostle nails that rule well. And peace and blessings to you, brothers that is keeping his word in sincerity, also in truth. Shalom.
Shalom.